Hello, while I am absolutely a loyal and committed subject of His Majesty the King, I am disturbed by the stories that are coming out about, most recently, a barrister called Paul powlesland, who was told that if he wrote "Not My King" on a blank piece of paper, then he would be open to arrest. A blank piece of paper was therefore potentially a criminal, a site of a criminal offence. Why? Because he might be causing offence. Well, presumably, if he was among a crowd of Republicans who then put up a piece of paper with the slogan, "Long live the King," they too would be causing offence. We need to get this in perspective. We should not be arresting people who have slogans which perhaps we don't necessarily like or subscribe to. Having slogans and carrying a piece of paper, even saying things should not be a criminal offence. We're not living in Russia, and we should look across at countries like Russia with disapproval, where people are having freedom of speech curtailed, where people are having to think very carefully about what they say in public and in private, because it can get them into trouble. We shouldn't be in that position here in the UK. Now, of course, it is absolutely true that the mood of the public is very much focused on celebrating the life of the late Queen and anticipating the reign of her son, King Charles III, and that there is a very pro-regal air, sort of, that has captured our country, and an air also of optimism and unity. Her Majesty, I think, was a great unifier, and this spirit is certainly spreading across the land, and the affection that is rightly accorded to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II is in the process of being transferred to her son, whether he's got problems with fountain pens or not. This simply makes him more human, more vulnerable, more endearing. And there's so many little things to carp at. I carp at the fact that Prince Harry is going to be attending the funeral, we're now told, in civilian dress. Well, so be it. I wish he were there in military uniform. I find it extraordinary that some sort of permission has been granted to his uncle, but not to him. But we wait to see what happens. I think there will be things that go wrong, but so far at the moment, the general tone is very, very positive, and it's the general tone that we should reflect on, and we should approach this week and this period of mourning up to and including the day of the funeral with optimism and a certain amount of indulgence. And I think it would be better if we celebrated freedom. But I understand the police are desperate to make their presence felt and their presence worthwhile. I hope they pull back from being a bit too heavy-handed. It simply isn't worth the effort, and it sends out a very ugly signal. Don't do it, police. Please don't do it. Stop this silliness.